Hi everyone, this is Kriti here and you're watching Chili and Vanilla by Chef Kriti. And today I'm sharing my recipe for whole wheat Mathri or whole wheat Namak Pare or Atta Mathri. This is a traditional savory biscuit which is made with minimal ingredients, mainly atta and desi ghee, and is a great tea time snack. And the best thing is it has a really long shelf life. In short, it's our desi namkeen, which is a very healthy and a good to eat treat. It's tasty, it's crisp, and it's perfect with a cup of chai. And even when you would want to pack something along with your kids' tiffin boxes, it's a great snack. You can always pack it, you can always have it anytime without any guilt. It's made with whole wheat atta, it has desi ghee in it, and of course, it is savory. So let's get started. So we start by weighing the ingredients, whole wheat atta and some fine sooji or rava or semolina, whatever you may call it. Now we add some salt and ajwain, that is carom seeds, to taste. I've shifted the flour into a white plate for this step so that मुझे अच्छे से अंदाज आ जाए. Anyways, I have written the complete weight of the ingredients in the description box below, so you can refer to that. Now at this time, you can also add some kasuri methi when you are adding the salt and carom seeds. Some crushed kasuri methi also adds to the flavor. Now we add the ghee and we have to mix them all really very well. We need to rub the whole thing in our palms until the atta is all coated in ghee. I'll show you how to do it with the hands for a small batch, and since I'm making it in a bigger batch, I will be doing it with my stand mixer for the whole process. But I will demonstrate how this is done with hands. So you rub the thing in your palms and you should not be seeing any clumps of ghee or clumps of atta anywhere. It should be all evenly distributed and you should be able to just rub the whole thing and have atta coated completely in ghee. Now this comes the stand mixer part where the stand mixer is doing it for me because it was a very big batch. Now to check the consistency of the flour mix, we take some of it in between our fingers and feel it. If you see some portions where there is more ghee and then that means you need to mix it more. So it should be all homogeneous. The flour should be equally distributed with desi ghee and you should not see any clumps of ghee there. Now I have mixed it a little more for making it more even, and now we test it again. Now once it is all very homogeneous, we try and press it between our palms and it should all clump together. This is the stage when it is all ready. Now we add lukewarm water into this. The water should not be hot or anything. It should be just lukewarm so that it doesn't clump up the ghee. Start adding the water little by little because the absorption of water for different flours and different attas is very different. So start adding little by little and keep checking in between. So now I have still some of the water left in my pan and I try and clump it all together and see. But I found that the consistency was very crumbly still. It is coming together, but when I press it, it is all crumbling. That means the dough requires a little more water. So I added the remaining one and I mix it again together. So now you do the same thing with your hands, but you do not have to knead this atta. We are not in any way going to knead this atta like we do for chapati. You just have to bring everything together. See, it comes together. It is not very crumbly. It is holding its shape and I have not kneaded it. We are not going to build any gluten here. So once it has all come together, I put it into a larger plate and now I see if there are any dry bits. I'm going to again bring them together separately. So this is how you do it with hands. There was a little portion which was pretty crumbly and there were dry bits into it. So I added just a sprinkle of water and just brought it all together. No kneading, just bringing everything together. And it is a stiff dough. It is not a very loose dough like we do for chapati. When everything is together, comes together, we just need to start rolling it out now. Now all we need to do is roll it, cut it and fry it. But there is an important thing that you need to take care of when you're rolling it. When you roll it and you keep on spreading the dough into larger size, you may feel that it is thin enough, but what is important here is you need to lift this whole chapati and put it back on the counter and then roll it. Otherwise what happens is from the middle the bits will come out much thicker than the sides and you will not realize it until you cut it. I'll show you. So this time I have not lifted the chapati much and I have just rolled it as much as I could and then I cut it. With this step, my Namak Pare or the semia which have been made are pretty thick. If they are pretty thick, they will get toasted well, but there is a possibility that when you fry them, they will be slightly soggy or not as crispy as they should be. So instead what we do is usko beech mein uthana hai. You lift it up from the counter and put it back again so that when you roll it again, it gets rolled evenly throughout. It is not that from the center it will be thick and the edges will be thinner. So lifting it up and then rolling it is an important key in this particular step. Now you see they are evenly shaped, they are thinner and they will be crisp throughout. So this is how we roll and cut them. So I have gathered them all together and parallelly I am heating the oil. And oil should be medium hot. It should not be extremely hot like we do for puris. Ki puris dala aur ekdam se they puff up. We don't want that. Oil should be hot but not so hot that immediately these namak pare that you add into the oil, they turn golden in color. We don't want that to happen. Oil should be medium hot and then we put them into the oil and cook them. Now a couple of tips on how to fry them. First of all, the oil should not be very hot like I already mentioned before. It should be medium hot. And I've already shown you the trick on how to check it. Put a small bit of the flour mix, the dough, into the oil and it should sizzle. That means the oil is hot. Now when you put in all your semia into the hot oil, the temperature of the oil will go down a bit because that is all cold stuff that has gone into the oil. So we raise the flame to medium high and we keep on cooking it, but we don't touch them for the first 3 to 4 minutes because they become really soft and they might break. So give them some time to settle, and once they have settled a bit, then we start tossing and turning them. Now they'll change the color. First they will be doughy and then they will start changing the color. At this stage they are slightly golden but more on the lighter side. So at this stage you can check one of them. Of course, be very careful. This will be very hot. Be very careful before tasting it. But the best color is when they are slightly towards the golden brown side. Not completely golden brown, but slightly towards the golden brown side. And this is when they are completely cooked from inside. They will be crisp from inside and you won't feel the rawness in them. Now I'll break one of them and I'll show them to you. So once the first batch is done, you put in the second batch and again let them keep sizzling for some time before touching them. Before putting in the second batch, reduce the flame to low. So here you can see one of them. It's nice and crisp and golden color and it is completely cooked from inside. It's pretty flaky and it's basically the Indian puff pastry, which is done in a much healthier way and not as difficult to make also. The video is long enough because I've tried to cover each and every step that I've learned while making this, and I've included all the tips and tricks so that when you make it, you are successful in the very first go. And just follow these tips and tricks and I'm sure you will love them. It is a great snack. So you see the color when you keep them, they become slightly more dark as they sit. And you hear the crunch, you hear the sound, and you are still yet to hear how they, sound when you eat them. They're really good, really delicious, a great snack which has a great shelf life and really a guilt-free snack. So do give it a try and let me know in the comments how did it turn out for you. And in case you would have any questions, do let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Until then, bye-bye.